So on this channel, there's going to be a lot of different things. There's going to be a lot of insightful conversations. There's going to be a lot of very deep, impactful type things we're going to be doing on this channel. And then on top of that, we're going to be doing silly things like this, where we're going to be going over fast food tier lists. We're going to be doing random rankings, blind things, taste tests, those kinds of funny videos as well. And so in this video, what better way to start things off than going over this fast food tier list? Food is a very subjective thing, especially when it comes to fast food, especially when it comes to what kind of cravings and which things we prefer. Obviously, there's going to be a little bit of bias involved here, which things are sometimes my comfort foods, which things are things that I kind of ate as a kid, childhood memories, those kinds of things are going to be factors as well. But I'm going to be trying to go through with also kind of a more unbiased perspective. The things I'm going to be looking at on this list are taste, experience, and then both of those things combined, what was the price of that restaurant. If it's higher, obviously in price, then it better be a better experience and better food overall. This was kind of a random list that I found online on like this tiermaker.com. I added some ones that I didn't see on here, but there's also like half of these I haven't even been to. Some of these, like, I don't know if some of these are like East and West Coast places. Like, I know Skyline Chili is like a Midwest, like Ohio type place. I've never been there. Like El Pollo Loco, everything from Zaxby's and on, this entire half of the list I have never eaten at. And so if you see me go through this list and then it's over and you're like, wait a second, what about this and this and this? There is some of these places I've never been to, either because they're not in my area or because I just have never eaten there. So apologies if there's some of your favorite places on here that you don't see that I've never even been to. But we're going to get things started here with A&W, which I feel like I can pretty firmly put in the C tier for me, because like it's never been a place that I go to like over anything else. It's also like a place that I feel like you don't see very often, because you see the A&W drinks, but like the food is always kind of second fiddle to all the other things I've got going on. So anytime I feel like I've gotten something there, it's always just been like, it's okay. It's fast food. It's a thing that I eat and I get sustenance from it, but it's never really anything that spectacular to me. I feel like I've really only eaten at an A&W a few different times before, and so I really can't put that one that high, so I'll put it at the C tier. So I don't have much to say about that one. Next up here, we have a very controversial one, because I have Arby's, which I am also going to be putting at the C tier. This is obviously a very controversial one. Also, I'm going to flip these around, because keep in mind, I'm going to be ranking these within the tiers, because the ones that are closest to the next tier are going to be the further left of all of the ones in that tier. So Arby's, better than A&W in my opinion, but I do have it at C. The main reason I don't have it any higher than this is because I am not a big curly fries guy. I don't know what it is about them. There's just something, maybe it's the aftertaste, or maybe it's the fact that like it doesn't go well with ketchup. I don't know what it is. I'm just not a big fan of curly fries. That's kind of one of the big things they have going on there. The roast beef sandwiches are good, but it's also one of those things I'm like, I have to be in the mood for a roast beef sandwich. And some of the other menu items that they have, I've never been that huge of a fan of some of them. And so like C tier is one where I'm like, I'm not going to actively say that I don't like it, but it's never going to be my first choice pretty much anytime. And so I have to put Arby's there, but it's not so bad that I would put it at D or F, certainly not, but it's just kind of mid in my opinion. Burger King. Now keep in mind, I'm going to be going over these based off of all of the different meals they have there, including their breakfast items. And that's kind of what saves it a little bit for me for Burger King. I'm going to put Burger King in the C tier. I'm going to put it behind Arby's. The reason being, I love their breakfast. I had the croissant wedge and all the stuff they have for breakfast, and the what are they called? Like the tater tots, but they're like the different versions of them. But I really like those. And when we were kids, we would always go and get those for breakfast. But their lunch and their dinner, I just am not a big fan of. I've never liked their burgers at all. And I haven't had very many of them, but the experiences I've had with them, I just have not enjoyed the meat. I haven't enjoyed really the fries either. It's just never been anything special. But again, the breakfast saves it for me. But again, for lunch, would never pick Burger King in even my top 10 of places I'd go to, it would have to be the only place in the area for me to go to for lunch or dinner. Raising Cane's. Now this is one where it's a debate between A and B for me, because Cane's is very good. I feel like I have these swings where I'm in the mood for Cane's and craving it, and then other times where I'm not a huge like fan of it. I feel like some of these I have to base off of like being in the area I am. Some of these there are a bunch of them in Minnesota, but I don't get to have them very often here. So some of these I'm basing off of like, how much do I miss this thing? And I feel like I don't miss Raising Cane's as much as I miss some of the other ones on this list. So I'm going to have to put it at B, but it's a very high B. I would expect it to be one of the highest Bs out of this list, because I do really like the chicken. I really like the cane sauce. The fries are probably my favorite part of Raising Cane's. It's just not knock your socks off good like some of the A's and the S tier ones are going to be for me. So I'm going to have to put it at a very, very high B. Checkers. Now this is one where I feel like this might be one that not a lot of people know of, because I didn't find out about it until I went to Wisconsin and they had a few here. Checkers, man, this is either a really high B or a low A, because it's one where I haven't had it very often, but the few times I've had it, it's been phenomenal. I really like the style of fries they have there. The burgers are just very good. They have almost like a kind of bun there that's almost like, I don't want to say cakey, but it's a little more like dense and has a little more to it. I really like their burgers. Oh, man, I'm going to put this at the highest B. I'm going to put it ahead of Cane's and have it the highest B, because that is a really good place. I feel like if I had a few more really good experiences, I might move it up to A, but I don't have it as consistently as some of these other ones. So I'm going to have to put it at the B tier here. Next up, we have Chick-fil-A. Now this is a controversial one, because I feel like some people have it as one of their favorites. I feel like the people that don't like it really don't like it and think it's like bland or something like that. I'm putting this one at A. And obviously I'm leaving the politics of the place aside. Obviously there's practices they have that I'm not a big fan of. And it's difficult to weigh those things. But in terms of just the quality of the food, the fact that it's not like, it's almost at the point of being overpriced, but not quite. You know, I can always feel like I can go there. Being closed on Sundays is kind of an unfortunate part of it. But the Chick-fil-A sauce, people can call it overrated all you want. It's one of my favorite sauces out there. I really enjoy waffle fries. Waffle fries are probably my favorite way to enjoy fries, other than maybe a couple of the other ones on this list that I'll talk about later. You can probably guess which those are at a couple of these places. But Chick-fil-A, the first A for me. It's a really good place. I really like the popcorn chicken that they have there. And again, the sauce is out of this world. Shakes are always great. If there's really good desserts at some of these places, I will include those. Not as like a major point, but as like a good, addition to everything. But yeah, Chick-fil-A has to be the first A tier for me. You can call me biased all you want. You can call me a Midwesterner all you want. Culver's is S tier for me. Now, it has gotten a little bit more overpriced over the years, which is negative, but it hasn't gotten to that point where it's like, okay, we're going overboard with this price yet. This might be just a bias for me, but this is my comfort food. Anytime I'm upset, anytime that I'm like needing a pick-me-up, I go to Culver's, and it doesn't help that there's like 20 of them in any given city in Wisconsin and in Minnesota, but their chicken is unbelievable. I really like the fries. Crinkle cut fries are one of my favorite kinds of fries. I don't have the burgers very often there, but their burgers are incredible. The butter burgers they have there, pretty much everything that I've had on their menu is absolutely phenomenal. And I legitimately could eat that. That's where I feel like the S tier comes in, is if I genuinely feel like I could eat at this place every single day if it wasn't really bad for me to do it. And that's got to be Culver's for me. Again, call me a biased Midwesterner, but Culver's is S tier for me. Okay, so I've made an executive decision here. I'm going to be making a separate tier here. And this is not like related to any of these tiers. So I'm going to put it at the top, but it doesn't mean that I think it's a better tier. It's just where I'm putting it. And I'm going to name it pizza tier because for me, it's like I'm not ever going to like decide based off of how good one or the other is if I'm getting pizza or if I'm getting another thing. If I want pizza, I'm just going to just decide which pizza place I want to go to. So I feel like pizza is such a different removed thing from other things because it's very situational and everything. So I'm not going to like ever be like, do I want Culver's or do I want Domino's? I'm going to pick that I want pizza and then choose which pizza place I want to go to. So I'm going to rank the pizza places separately. So number one for me is going to be Domino's. This is one where I feel like there's always a coupon, first of all. So it's always one of the cheaper ones. So it's always going to be $10 or less as long as you don't get a specialty pizza. I will usually get to take home a full large pizza, which I can turn into 2 meals if I want to for like $10. Obviously, this is when I decide I want to be unhealthy because pizza is one of the most unhealthy things for you. But Domino's, I feel like, is always consistent. It's not going to be like out of this world, but that's not what fast food pizza is supposed to be. And I can always count on it. I get the sausage and pepperoni, and I really like the garlic crust and everything. And it just tastes the best for me overall. So I'm going to put that one at number one. Sbarro is kind of a different one because like I feel like I usually get that at like the food court mall or the mall food court or something like that. But it does have really good pizzas. I just don't feel like I get it consistently enough because maybe they make Sbarros that aren't in malls, but I feel like I've only ever had it in a mall. So just for that reason, I'm going to put it at the bottom just because I don't get it very often. Little Caesars is definitely making a case for the fact that it is very cheap. So I'm going to put that one. Gosh, this is difficult because I feel like Papa John's is consistently better tasting than you'd see out of Little Caesars, but Papa John's, I feel like I've never gotten a Papa John's pizza for less than $15. It's kind of one of the more expensive ones. The only times I even can get Papa John's is if it's one of those, if your sports team wins, you get half off a price of a pizza. I'm going to have to put Little Caesars ahead of Papa John's because Little Caesars is still very good. It's another one that's reliable, and you can get like a hot and ready pizza right out of there. I'm one of those people that doesn't really care for specialty pizzas anyway. I like the straight up pepperoni and sausage and everything. So I can kind of just walk right in. It's probably the fastest place, and it does still have really good pizzas. So I'll have to put that at 2. I think the order I have it here is good because I've never been a huge Pizza Hut fan. Like, the crust has never been my favorite, and I feel like it's always just been a forgettable one for me. And again, Sbarro at 5. I think that's a pretty good ranking for these pizza places. There's a few other ones that I've been to, but I haven't been to them enough where I can even put them on this list because mostly I'll go to Domino's or Little Caesars for my pizzas. But those are my rankings of these ones. Obviously, drop in the comments if there's pizza places you want me to rank and talk about and review that I haven't put on this list, and maybe I'll do a whole pizza review video by itself. But those are my rankings for these 5. I decided to take the breakfast places out of contention because there's only 3 of them, and also like I would never really put any of these like at any I mean, you go to a breakfast place to get breakfast, and I know Denny's has some other things. I know that IHOP has other things. Waffle House pretty much just has waffles. Out of those 3, I'd probably put IHOP, Denny's, Waffle House, but I just decided to take those out. Dairy Queen. Now, this is a very interesting one because I said that the desserts weren't going to be that major of a factor in my decision making, but the desserts are very good at DQ and a main reason why you go there. Also, on top of that, I feel like they have some of the cheaper lunch options. They have those really good $6 or $7 boxes that have, they're not going to fill you up all the way, but like, I feel like they're a good like travel type option because you get just like that little basket that's in your lap. You get the chicken tenders are honestly really good. The fries are really good. It's just a very reliable option. And on top of that, they have some good lunch. I'm going to put DQ at B. Kind of one of the lower B options. I'm going to put it below Cane's and Checkers, but very good, very reliable option that I think is just a little bit better than these C tier ones. Next up here, I have Five Guys. Now, this is one that would be in S, but I'm going to put it in A just because it's so darn expensive. I mean, you go into Five Guys and like even if you're just getting a burger and fries, you're spending like almost $20, but it is really really good. I like the like smash burger style, and there is actually smash burger on here later on, but I love their burgers so much. They for the price that you pay, I will admit they give you like a gallon of fries, so you can pretty much share your fries with everyone that's there pretty much and still get your fill and fries, but it tastes really good. It's a pretty simple type place. There's not a whole lot of variety, but it's okay when what they sell is so good. But again, that price is my biggest point of contention with Five Guys, so I'm gonna have to put that at A. It would be S if it wasn't so expensive. Next up, I feel like I have to still rank this one because I only went there once, but it was really good when I went there, and that's In-N-Out Burger. Now, this is one that is only on the West Coast, or in the West, I mean. I went to an Arizona location with In-N-Out Burger, and West Coast people will tell you that this is like a gift of God, like it's the best place to ever exist. I wouldn't go that far, but I would put this pretty high. It's either B or A. I feel like it's not really fair to put it in B just because I only went there once, so I'm going to have to put it in A low A because it was only one experience. But when something gets talked up as much as it was, and then you go there and it fits every single thing they said about it almost to that high of a degree, then that means it's a pretty special place. The service was unbelievable. It wasn't necessarily the quickest experience, but every single person, it was almost like a West version of Chick-fil-A where everyone that worked there was so nice, treated you so well, and the food was just as good as everyone said it was. And so like for the experience combined with the food, I have to put In-N-Out Burger at A, but it's a lower A because there's ones I've been to more consistently that I have to put above it. Jersey Mike's subs. Now there's a lot of sub places. I'm going to put a lot of these at C and then work my way up from there. Move some of them down to D, some up to B, because like for the most part, I'm not a huge sub guy because one, sandwiches are a thing that I can technically make at home. So like it's mostly for the convenience when I go get a sub sandwich. And two, I'm kind of a picky eater. So like when all the things get stacked on a sub sandwich, I can't really eat a lot of it. So like I like a pretty plain sub sandwich, and so I usually don't get a lot of them very often. Jersey Mike's is a very good sub. I'm going to put it at C because I don't get it very often. I think that a lot of these places, but man, they have a good meatball sub. I'm still going to put it at C because I'm not going to go there over a lot of other places, but I will put it at the top of C because it is a very good sub place. Jimmy John's, they have... Do I put Jimmy John's at a low B? No, I'm going to put Jimmy John's at the high C again because I do really like Jimmy John's bread, and I think it's probably one of my favorite breads in terms of some sandwiches. But again, anytime I go to Jimmy John's, I basically just get like a ham or turkey and Swiss sub sandwich, and it is never really anything that exciting. And if they had better like all meat options, I feel like I would go more for Jimmy John's. But the kind of sandwich they have with the chips is really good. And I guess I'll go with the other sub sandwich place too, which is Subway. People are going to be mad at me for this, but this is a low B for me because if I am going to go to a sub sandwich place, I will probably go to Subway because it is really good. Probably this is a pretty biased take because one of the main reasons I have Subway higher is because I really like their meatball marinara sub, because meatball subs and like all meat subs are really the only thing I get when I go to these kinds of places, but they have a really good version of it, and it's gotten kind of to a point where it's pricey at this point, but it's always going to be my go-to in terms of getting a sandwich somewhere, and it's a pretty quick and easy place. So I'll put Subway at a very low B. All right, this is going to be the most controversial one out of pretty much any of them, and that is KFC. I am putting KFC at D. I'm not a big fan of KFC. I went there a few times with my family when I was a kid. I genuinely haven't even gone back because it is so forgettable to me. Like, I guess I'm not a big fried chicken guy in general, and KFC doesn't make it sound that much more appealing. Fried chicken is one of the most boring foods to me that you can possibly get. It's just like you have to go through so much work just to eat it. And then, like, I don't know, it's just like that kind of food I just don't like. And KFC is just not that good to me. And I guess there's really not much else I can say about it. Like, I've never driven past a KFC and been like, man, I could go for some fried chicken. Fried chicken is a thing you get when you're at a function and there's nowhere else to eat. And you're like, I guess I have this fried chicken. Like, this is how I view fried chicken. So maybe it's kind of biased against KFC. I'm not saying KFC specifically I don't like. I just don't like fried chicken that much. So KFC is our first D. McDonald's is going in A for me. I can't quite put it in S tier because, like, I know that what I'm putting in my body is really bad for me, and also, like, I when I eat Culver's, I don't feel as bad as I do when I eat McDonald's. I'm going to put it at a pretty high A. I'm going to put it between Chick-fil-A and Five Guys because it's a place, just for the sake of the fact that I go there as often as I do when I am in a rush, I have to put McDonald's pretty high, but, like, I can't quite put it in S with Culver's because I feel like I'm not as, like, hyped to go to to go to McDonald's as I am with Culver's. It's just kind of like they have good options and I can eat within 10-15 minutes of going there. So it's a convenience thing, but it certainly is a really good place. This is definitely at least going in A. I don't know if I can put it in S because there's only one or two things I get there, but this is probably top A for me. Noodles & Company is amazing. I'm a big Italian food guy in general. I love spaghetti, and so the spaghetti and meatballs there is always top notch. Like, when you think of fast food spaghetti and fast food pasta, you're not really expecting much, but they are really good with everything they do there. I've had multiple things. Buttered noodles from there is always one of the things I like to get when I'm, sick or something like that and want to feel better. So Noodles & Company is amazing. On top of that, they have this really good garlic, like, cheesy bread type food there, and it's really, really good too with the marinara sauce. So couldn't recommend Noodles enough. Almost S tier if I got it more often, but it's really, really good. Chipotle is probably one of the toughest ones on this entire list to rank because it's one of those where when you go to a really good Chipotle, it's S tier. Like, there's one Chipotle that we always go to when we are heading back home to Minnesota or heading back here in Eau Claire, and I can never remember which one it is in Eau Claire. It's right next to a Culver's, which I guess everything's next to a Culver's in Wisconsin, but there's one next to a Culver's that's the Chipotle in Eau Claire that is just amazing, unbelievable. Every single time I've been to that location, I get perfectly made chicken or steak. Like, I usually will get steak there because I usually get chicken when I don't know how good it's going to be because it's usually the safer option between the two. But I can always get steak there because I know it's going to be amazing. They give me the perfect portions. Everyone that works there is always nice and friendly and make sure the food is made well. I get healthy portions. And every single time I go there, I am happy I went to that location. But then on the other end, if you go to a bad Chipotle, it is D tier. Like, there's no worse feeling than, like, getting excited to bite into a Chipotle burrito or taking a bite of a bowl and the rice is just hard. And, like, obviously you have to make sure you go during a good time window, but even then, like, if you go to a bad Chipotle, it doesn't matter what time it is. Somehow the food is always, like, bad. It's stale. The rice isn't good. The chicken or the steak is overdone and gristly, and it's just like you can have a really bad experience there. On top of that, sometimes they'll roll the burritos in a way where, like, all of the cheese is chunked together in one tiny section, and I've had some of the worst fast food experiences at a Chipotle, and I've also had some of the best. So I feel like I'm going to put Chipotle in B. I'm going to put it at a high B. I'm going to put it probably between Checkers and Raisin. Actually, I'm going to put it at the top of B because I feel like there's been enough good Chipotle experiences for me. I just can't quite put it at A because you have those bad experiences where you're like, man, I am almost upset that I stopped here for lunch. So I think a high B is a pretty good place to put Chipotle. Now for another A, and this is going to come from Smash Burger. I'm going to put Smash Burger right around these places because it's kind of the same style of kind of overpriced. Well, it is overpriced. Honestly, I would put this pretty close to S if it wasn't overpriced. You go in there and you spend probably $20, but this is probably one of the best burgers I've ever had at Smash Burger. And it's, again, obviously it's one of those smashed burgers, and it is just unbelievable. Like, I can't describe like what they do to it, but it's just an amazing taste, perfectly seasoned, and it's just the kind of like classic American burger that you want to have out to eat. They've got those really good, like, they're probably the least healthy fries for you, like, or most unhealthy, I guess I should say, because no fries are healthy. But they have those really thin, like they're not shoestring fries, but they're just like the really like thin fries, but they're really good. And so I'm going to have to put Smash Burger at a pretty middle of the road A. They're really, really good, just very overpriced. So I can't really put them that much higher. Next, we have a couple of similar ones next to each other, starting with Panda Express, where I've been there only a few times. Every time I've been there, it's really good, though. I really do like Asian food, and I really like... I'm one of those people that I can be pretty simple, where put rice and some sort of meat in something, and I will eat it. Like all the time we'll have like ground beef or chicken or something just in white rice, and that's our entire meal because I love it so much. So obviously going to an Asian place for dinner is always great for me. Panda Express is very good. If I had it more often, like, I can't really rank this very well. I'll put it at a pretty low B because I don't have it very often, but it is pretty good, pretty reliable when I go there. Lian Chin is probably at a high B for me. I would put it at my second best B because Lian Chin, we would go there all the time as a kid. They have this really good bourbon chicken that I have with the white rice. And then obviously you have the fortune cookies, and they have those cream cheese puffs that are really, really good there. I feel like it might be kind of biased based off of the frequency I go there and how often I went there when I was younger, but Lian Chin is really good. I don't know if that's like that wasn't in this list because whoever made this was obviously either an East or West Coaster, but it wasn't on this list. I don't know if it's more specific to the Midwest or not, but Lian Chin is a really good place. If you haven't been there, I seriously recommend it. And then we have Panera. This is an A for me. Panera bread is very, very good. Like, they have things that I feel like are a little bit fresher. Obviously, it still is going to be, like, not necessarily super good for you, but, like, you can get more of, like, a, less fried option. So it's definitely healthier than a lot of the places that you have on this list. I always get the Chipotle chicken sandwich that has the Chipotle sauce on it with the normal chicken, and it just, I feel like I feel better after I eat that compared to some of these other places. So I'm gonna have to put it at a very high A. I'm gonna put that right up there next to noodles because Panera is one where I'm like, if I'm kind of sick of having like the normal fast food and I'm more having like a night in, I will go out and I'll pick up Panera and we'll have that with the soup and with the baguette and everything. It's a really good experience all the way through. Next up, we have Popeyes. Now, this is one, I feel like there's not quite as many up here, but they do still have it. But the first time I had it was not that long ago, actually. I went down to Vegas for a creator convention type thing, and I had it, and they have the Parmesan garlic wings. Unfortunately, I recently had a very bad experience with garlic Parmesan wings that I'm not going to detail because it's really gross, and it kind of ruined it for me forever. So I don't know if I'll ever be able to have garlic wings again after a sick experience I had with it. But there's plenty of other things they have there too. I really like the kind of chicken they have there. It's like the Cajun style. Their Cajun fries though are what put them ahead. Like it's really really good. I'm gonna put Popeyes at a very high B as well. I'm gonna put it right under Lian Chin, or maybe actually right behind Checkers, because it is very very good. I'm probably gonna end up having it more often now if I can find some other things on the menu to enjoy. But the Cajun fries are unbelievable, so I'm gonna have to put it at a pretty high B. Now one where I have a very strong opinion about, because Chipotle is at B because of the good or bad experience, but I will always advocate for Chipotle over Qdoba. I'm gonna put Qdoba at C, but probably one of the lower C's. I'm gonna put it between Arby's and Burger King. I feel like Qdoba is never going to be like horrible for me. Like I'm never going to be like, oh, I had a horrible experience at Qdoba, but it's just it will never be as good as Chipotle, because the main things for me are the meat is pretty much as good, but the queso and the salsa is not as good. And those are two of the main things, because when I get a burrito, I'll always get the verde salsa or the green salsa, whatever it is you call it. And then I get the chips and queso. And the chips and queso just aren't as good at Qdoba. Like Chipotle's is kind of inconsistent, and every once in a while you'll get kind of a dud in terms of the chips and queso. But with Qdoba, it's like I just don't like the ingredients quite as much, and so I can't put it as high as Chipotle is. So I'm going to put it in kind of the middle of the tier C, one of the lower ones for me. Now this is one I'm going to put in kind of the mid B's, and that's Quiznos. Quiznos is one where ever since the one in my hometown closed, I haven't really gone there quite as much, but they had a really good like beef. I don't know if it was roast beef, but it was some sort of beef. Their bread was always fresh. It felt really hometown, very local, and very like warm and inviting every time you went in there. So the experience definitely gets some major points for me. So I'm going to have to put this one at least in mid B, but again, unfortunately, they're starting to die out, and I don't know how many more are going to be left by the time I go there again. So I should probably find which one is closest to me and go there before I lose that one forever. But good memories going there with my family, and some bias obviously with that. But they had some really good fresh sandwiches, and probably the highest sandwich place I have on here, even above Subway. So Quiznos definitely would recommend, especially coming from someone that doesn't have a lot of fast food sandwiches. Next up, we have Shake Shack, and this is one where I've only been to a couple times, but it was really good when I went there. It almost makes me feel like it's kind of sort of an In-N-Out burger, but for the Midwest. So I'm going to put that one at a very high B as well. I'm going to put that one, gosh, do I put it above? I'm going to put it above Checkers, because again, if it wasn't so expensive, I probably would have it more often. But their burgers are very similar, in a similar vein to some of these other ones I talked about already. Very like classic American burger, the kind of fries that you would expect at kind of like a more old-fashioned diner, kind of those like shoestring fries, and very, very good experience through and through. But it was kind of a long wait as well, which is why I can't put it in the same tier as Smash Burger, Five Guys, and In-N-Out Burger. So high B's is where I feel like it deserves to be. I'm actually going to move Sonic down, because I actually don't think I've eaten there before. And I didn't move it down initially because I guess I did not expect to have ever. I feel like I would have been there before, because I know they have Sonics in my area, but I just have never been there before. So I guess I'll skip that one. Next up here, we have Taco Bell. Taco Bell, I almost want to put in a tier of its own, because like, I feel like this is as safe as a low B as you can get, because I'm going to put it between Cane's and DQ, because Taco Bell is not the best fast food place. It just isn't. But you can always count on it that it's going to have some food that's not great, but when I get it, it's going to be as fast as you can possibly get it, and it's going to be edible. And that probably shouldn't be enough to warrant a B for me, but I am going to anyway, because when you're talking about fast food, you're talking about the convenience. as long as it's good enough where I feel like I'm still glad I ate it, you take the convenience factor in. Like, I genuinely could be 8 people behind in line, and I know I'm still going to get my Taco Bell and be able to start eating it in the next 10 minutes, maybe 15 at the most if it's really, really long. But you can always take fast service. Obviously, that kind of shows you the quality of the food if they're able to get it to you that quickly. But I've never been sick from it yet. And that should be the slogan for Taco Bell. That should be like the American fast food slogan in general. But Taco Bell, I feel like, is a pretty safe B because of the convenience of it. That's what fast food's all about. But then I'm putting Taco John's ahead of Taco Bell. It's still right there at B, and I don't think that it's going to be that much different from the two. Again, it's another place where I'm just going to go quickly for the food. But I've been really liking some of the stuff I've had at Taco Bell or Taco John's lately. It's not, again, not going to knock your socks off, but the thing that puts it ahead for me are the potato olays and the rice, because they have that like seasoned Mexican rice and kind of that like West Mex type style that they have with the potato olays and everything. I feel like I like some of the like sides with it better as well, and they have the really good like grilled cheese, whatever it is, and it's really good. So I'm going to go with Taco John's over Taco Bell, but just very narrowly. They're both kind of solidly in that B tier for me. I'm going to put Wendy's as the lowest A because I feel like the Baconator is probably my favorite fast food burger that is still affordable. Again, like a place like Shake Shack, I feel like is better in terms of overall quality, but like Wendy's is always going to be significantly cheaper than that because Shake Shack is kind of, it markets itself as one of those like higher end fast food places. Wendy's, I know I can go in, add the convenience factor to it where I know I can get right in and out, mixed with the fact that the Baconator is really, really good. The fries are really good as well with ketchup and everything like that. The one thing I'm not a big fan of with Wendy's is, I don't know what it is, but anytime I order a Mellow Yellow from there, which is usually my go-to for a fast food drink, it's always watered down. I don't know what it is. Gosh, does that make me bring it down for that one reason? Am I going to be that petty to say that because I don't get a Mellow Yellow right every time? But it's every single time. You know what? Boom. Make better Mellow Yellows, Wendy's. I'm putting you at the highest B instead of the lowest A because of that one reason. I'm talking to you, Mrs. Wendy, I guess it would be. Make your Mellow Yellows that are not watered down, because every time I get one, it is watered down, and I don't understand why. So Wendy's top B instead of low A for that reason, but it is a really good fast food burger, one of my favorites. Now that I think about it, I think those are the rest of them, because the only other two I had before, the ones I hadn't eaten before, White Castle I actually realized I haven't eaten before, so I have to put that in my list of ones I haven't eaten. Wingstop, I'm searching for an alternative for my wings because I only exclusively ate garlic parmesan wings. All of these places down here, I've never actually eaten it before. But here's one last look here at the tiers, and I never put a single one in F based on the ones that I have here. I feel like I'm just a typical American that likes fast food way too much to put anything lower than D. And no offense to KFC, but just the way it is. I'm not a big fan of fried chicken, but anyway, that's my list. Please let me know in the comments which ones you agree and disagree with. I'm sure there's going to be plenty of lively conversations about this one. It's a very subjective thing with fast food and everything. So thanks for watching this one. Hope you had fun with a kind of a sillier little video here at the end of January. Make sure you stay tuned for my social media where I'll be posting the previews for the next 4 videos I'll be making in February. So that should be a lot of fun. But thanks so much for watching this one, and I'll see you on the flip side.